Welcome back to Serving Up Success with a Splash. I'm your host, Bruce the Corporate Cockroach Kramer. And I'm joined by the brilliant
Angie Snowball, the Renaissance woman. And
apparently, I'm the always dangerous Dr. Natesh Dessange. I don't know what makes me dangerous, but apparently I'm dangerous. So
he likes it. It's like we're living on the edge.
You're the thinker, that's why. So today we got a great topic as we're rolling into the holidays. We're going to be talking about setting boundaries. The work ones, the family ones. Nope, not today one. Because if you catch me answering email on Christmas Eve, please destroy my Wi-Fi. And also today, we're going to be pairing, if you will, the Drunk Reindeer cocktail with this whole subject, because there's nothing better than a little cranberry, bubbles, and a little vodka. Okay, maybe lots of vodka.
Cheers.
Just saying, it is the holidays, damn. Tis the season.
Tis the season.
So, Dr. D, kick us off. Talk to us about awareness and why is it so difficult in setting boundaries during the holidays?
Thanks, Bruce. Listen, it's the perfect psychological storm. And when we're talking about holidays, really, I want to focus on the Christmas holidays because other holidays just don't have the same impact. It's the Christmas holidays. What's going on at Christmas? Well, expectations are going up, emotional triggers show up, guilt, conditioning from work, from home, all of this gets activated. So if you think about what comprises this sort of perfect storm, what's going on at work? Well, you've got Q4 pressures. The work isn't finished. You know, it's not as though the deadlines have all been met by the 23rd or the 24th of December. Everything's suddenly piling up. You're going home and you're not going home to relax. You're going home either to go somewhere to be with a lot of other people, or you're going somewhere and a lot of other people are descending on you. And it's not restful. So you imagine you've got this background of noise going on from work. You're still answering emails on the way home, maybe on Christmas Eve. And then you've got people descending on you. And the more busy you are, the worse it is because you've taken on too much. And I can imagine in your households, you two are super stressed because you're going to be working right up until Christmas Eve, if not Christmas Day. You've got people coming over. You've got multiple family members coming over from all over the country, and you are doing the organizing. You're at least partly involved in the organizing. And you are not really thinking about boundaries. Neither of you are thinking about boundaries. You may say you're thinking about boundaries, but I know neither of you are. Neither of you are going to observe any boundaries. So I've got a question for both of you right now, and I want you to answer very, very honestly. Because if the answer is, you're right, I haven't set any boundaries, I think you should confess that. So what's the hardest boundary, Bruce, that you, for the holidays, what's the hardest boundary for you during the holidays?
Well, oh man. So there's three. One is to stop working, because what I do is typically, especially in prior years, not so much within the last couple, but I'd take like the last 2 weeks of the year off, or so people thought. And I would divide it up before, which this was the healthy part. I would do some reflection, this past year, what went well, what could have gone better, and then set my sights going forward. What do I have planned? Does it still make sense? That sort of thing. So that was okay. But the other thing, because I took the time off, was like, ooh, I can start something new. I got lots of time, and I would be diving back into work at the expense of my family. Now, I have a pretty hard stop, and I'm going to talk about, maybe later in the show, we'll get a little bit more as to how I do that. The second thing is, how do I see everybody? Well, and I have 6 kids between us, and they're scattered to the 4 winds. Not to mention we have siblings, parents, that sort of thing. How the hell are we going to get to see everybody? And there is an expectation that we're going to see everybody. Everybody wants to see, to some degree, mom and dad, thankfully. But how are we going to do that? And then the third is, when we are all together, I think I've mentioned this on prior episodes, we like to argue. And with new extended family or just new family members, new spouses, significant others, sometimes that can be a bit traumatizing, especially if we get into things like politics. So I've had to establish barriers around making sure I'm off the clock by literally blocking it out and biting my bottom lip to make damn sure I don't break that. Also, setting the tone for, here's how we're going to see each other, put a stake in the ground, give everybody ample time, and that's it. We're not breaking from that. This is our chance to all be together. And then also, controlling some of the conversation, just so we don't get carried away.
Bruce, before I go to Angie for a slightly different question, when you said, we don't get into some arguments, you really meant I, Bruce. Because I'm guessing, but I'm thinking you're the instigator of these arguments, right?
Oh my God, yes. And I've got a son that's more than capable as my accomplice. And we have a family that's...
Is he an agreeing one or disagreeing one?
Oh, he's on my side.
Okay. So
even if there was 2 of us and 12 of them, they'd still be outnumbered in our mind. But
I'm sure in the volume level they are too.
Oh my God. And I'm telling you, we're talking 20 people here now. We are divided right down the middle when it comes to politics. And I grew up, like I said, we used to just, for shits and giggles, for lack of a better term, we used to just bring it up. That and religion, just to have fun.
Oh my gosh.
And a lot of the new people in the family are like, that's not fun.
Yeah. Look, I'm on their side. It's not fun.
Yeah, no. When that happens in my family, I just sit back and drink and watch the show. Like, I don't say anything. Because it's stressful. I just like to.
So, Angie, slightly different question to you. It's not what boundaries. Tell us about the holiday period. What boundary do you put? What are the dates where you put boundaries around, or you try to put boundaries around? I'm sure it's not just the 25th to the 26th.
No, Natasha and I were just talking about this. I like to at least shut down for 1 week. So my past life was automotive. Automotive always shuts down pretty much 2 weeks. You're pretty much done. Those, more or less, those 2 weeks, or at least it's easy enough to make it happen. And in my past life, I really didn't care. I was usually so frustrated with the company by the time it was time to go. I was like, the end. I'm out of office. I will respond to your message on January 5th. Did not check anything. The world will not end without your transmission. Moving on. So that was a lot easier. As I work for myself, it's a lot harder because 1, I love what I do. 2, I love all the people that I work with and for. So if they need something, I want to be there. And it's just harder because for me, the more I shut down on actual activities that I have to do, more room, and Bruce alluded to this too, I get more room in my brain for creative things. I'm like, oh, I know what I'm going to do now. And before you know it, by the end of break, I've got, 3 books I want to write. But I think that's kind of like, it's harder, right? So now I'm like, well, I think, and Natasha and I were just saying this, I'm like, I want at least 1 week where I'm completely shut down. And probably like Christmas Eve to like New Year's Day, like roughly that week. I'm just going to shut it down. But another thing, like with boundaries, one thing I learned as the family gets bigger, because I'm one of 5. And I'm the oldest of everybody, even of my cousins. And I've got like 17 different cousins. So they still get together because, you know what I mean? So we've got family things everywhere. Tomorrow night, I have my mom's cousins get together. I know there's hundreds of them. So all these people are getting together all the time. And one thing I realized was saying no to that. You have to. You just can't be everywhere. So that also depends on, time-wise. Like, okay, if you're early enough in December, I may have time for you. If you're hitting the hot week, I got to prioritize. Do I want to do something with my family? Do I want to do one of the 17 mingle jingle things I've been invited to for business? I mean, where do you want to go with that? So I like to shut down for a week, and a full week, uninterrupted, is my plan. How about you, Natej? What do you do?
I've become, by accident, since about 2016, 17, I've become really good at shutting down for a whole 10 days. Something like the
good.
23rd to the 4th. And I don't know, I don't think I've ever thought about it, but I think it coincides. My parents passed away about 8-9 years ago. And since then, I think I may have subconsciously reflected and prioritized different things. So maybe at that point, but I just become, from being really bad at shutting down, working, being out on the 24th or the 23rd, flying on the 24th, and then going somewhere and still working while I was away, to actually shutting down from the 23rd onwards. Till the 4th of Jan. So I've just become good at it, but I don't think it was something I planned. I just think, my parents' passing just made me reflect.
It's interesting you say that, because the first year I lost my brother was my first year of setting boundaries with family. I would run myself ragged, and I mostly was out of town for like 20 years. I was out of town here. So I was in town, and I felt the need to see everybody. Cause I'm only here for 2 weeks or something, and just trying to fit everybody in there. And the first year I lost my brother, it just hit so hard, priorities, right? Like this, and I alluded to it before, there was a bit of a divide when that happened. So to me, the main priority that Christmas was to be with my brother's wife and my nephews. No matter what anybody else wants me to do, when they can be with me and my family, we're going to do that together. That's most important. And it was such I kind of don't like the word joy because I feel like it's overused, but it really was like such a joy-filled holiday. And it was so meaningful. The quality of our holiday was there. The quality of time spent. It was, 8 people in a room talking about what they want to do next year, what happened this year, what this means to them, talking about my brother, talking about those things, versus a room of 30 people that you really don't talk to at all. Everybody's screaming, everybody's drunk, singing, don't ever. That's a good time. And that's still in my repertoire too. Don't get me wrong. I love that day. That's still there. That's the 20th for me, by the way. But it was something I'd never done before, was to see the quality of putting a boundary there. And that happened because of a significant loss in my life too.
Yeah.
It's
So I've got to
interesting.
say, so talking about, I just want to say this, about Bruce and Angie, these guys, I don't know if it comes across on the camera. Their values are so strong. If you were ever in some sort of difficulty, these are the type of friends to have, Bruce and Angie. Their values and how they stick to them are just extraordinary. I'm alluding to them, I know, because I don't want to tell their personal stories that I know. But I know both of them, and Angie's story is, just a real example of sticking to values.
Thank you. He's going to make me cry. We better talk about something else.
But
It's going to be that nice.
Angie, you said something that was, to me, really struck home, is that typically on the holidays, especially in the past for me, everything was an event. You got together, there's nothing like waking up in the morning and surrounding yourself with family, like for a cup of coffee. You're not in party mode. You just have a heart to heart, casual conversation, funny stories. It's about creating the memory. It's not an event. And setting boundaries to me is guarding against the holidays being an event.
And something else, events are always so structured and they have to be on this day. And everybody's, well, it's got to be this day and Christmas Day. Everybody's got to run 6 different places. People I know or think I'm crazy about, but I don't see my son on Christmas Day. I have one kid. Like, you don't see your kid on Christmas Day? I said, no, I don't, because I don't want my kid to have to run to 7 different places because he's got a girlfriend that goes here, there, and everywhere. But like the 22nd, the 23rd, they spend 2 days with me. They spent 2 or 3 days with me and we just hang out. We do Christmas things. We play games. We do stuff like a 1950s Christmas. And I would rather have those 2 days than 1 hour running around as a pit stop on Christmas Day.
And I just got to piggyback on that because you made me feel really good. We do the same thing. We have Christmas with all 6 of our kids and grandkids, and we're all together for 4 days. And we do it the week before Christmas because in this day and age, many of us have been divorced. And to Angie's point, oh my God, initially, it was a nightmare coordinating who could come where because all of my kids have, pretty much significant others, if not married. And so they have other families and we understand that. So together we had a conversation. If this is a priority and we're going to set some boundaries, let's do it off the holiday. Who says you have to do it on the 24th and the 20th, which is very special to me, but not at the expense of having that quality time.
Not at the expense. That is setting a boundary, Bruce. Good segue into the next thing. Now we know why we need to set boundaries. And ironically, Bruce gave me the section of talking about how do we do it. And to me, that's the hardest section here because one, I'm still learning how to do it, right? There's still times I'm still struggling with it and I'm always open to ideas. And 2, it was a very personal process for me. So to set boundaries personally, I'm open to say it took a lot of therapy. Like I went through valuing myself again over everyone else and a little bit of what we talked about a few weeks ago, imposter syndrome. I had to go through that process, and then, it's a combination of, real official therapy, friends, other people walking you through things. But I think reaching out and talking about boundaries helps a lot. But let's talk first of all about official boundaries because we're getting close to work time. And some people are not as comfortable as I was to basically say, hey, frog off. I don't need you. You don't pay me enough for this. Some people are like, no, I want that promotion. I don't want to, or maybe my job's on the line. I don't know how to shut down without offending somebody or maybe getting myself in trouble. So I'm going to go to Natej first. What kind of advice would you give people when they want to be out of office for at least a week? They've got the vacation time. Everything's official. They just don't know how to communicate in the right way that they need to shut down. What could you recommend?
So first of all, I'm not entirely sure that I'm the best person to ask this sort of question because I may be the sort of person who's too firm. I'm not gentle enough and not skilled enough at messaging because I would tend to say something like, guys, I'm unplugging for Christmas. So, please don't call. And don't be offended if I don't pick up because I won't pick up. And I think that's too firm. So the advice I'd give is to do it slowly in the weeks leading up to Christmas and make sure you're telling people more than once in slightly different way, in a nice way that you really need to recharge and unplug over Christmas. And then when you've communicated it verbally, make sure you tell people the sort of out of message you're going to leave, which is, sorry, I really need to recharge over Christmas and I am not looking at any emails or answering texts. So that's not the way I do it. but that's the way I would advise everybody to do
So
it.
you should
But-
do it very nicely, but I don't.
You very nicely and not as awkwardly and directly as I do, using the fewest words possible.
Oh, that's
You know,
funny. And I do like too that you said, because I think this is key. Those times that I did just leave, everybody was ready for that. 2 weeks before Christmas time, I was like, you guys know I am unreachable for 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
if you need something, come to me before the 24th. Don't come to me on the 28th and expect me to answer, because I won't. Just let you know, I won't do it. So I think building up, like you mentioned, preparing them for if I'm gone, or like if you're in a job that's a real emergency, leaving another contact. Maybe you and someone else on your team can swap and say, I'll give you these 3 days off if you take these 3 days, and we can refer to contact the other one when you're off, so that, because everybody has a different job. I mean, there's never going to be a LinkedIn emergency. So I'm good. I can take off 2 weeks. We're always good. Right? So I'm good. But, different people are different ways. So I think that's good advice for business wise, ramping up, putting a good, nice message out there. Natej also hit on the fact to let people know why you're doing it. Like, I need to recharge so I can be better for you when I get back. I think that's important. It's not a selfish move, or a negative selfish move. But sometimes the harder ones are setting your family boundaries. Like, everybody's got that I did it. My mother-in-law was fantastic, but there are mother-in-laws, there's jokes about mother-in-laws for a reason. They come and they, and cringe on you, talk about your house not being clean, you didn't cook something right, or your mother, or, dad's talking about you don't have a good enough job. Like, a lot of this stuff happens at Christmas. It's in all the movies, right? So realistically though, Bruce, you've got the big family that has, you said it, they're all over the place, they're on every end, and how do you help your kids prepare? Not you, because we know you've got your fences and you're well put together. How do you help your kids get ready to deal with that? And maybe the in-laws.
I'm not so sure I'm that well put together.
All right, he's not put together. I lied.
But I can say I'm all out of give a fucks. I just am.
Give a damn.
I apologize to the audience, but sometimes that mindset is a good mindset to have.
Yeah.
Because I once had a professor say, who's the most important person in your life? And he went through, all of the students. And I mean, we got answers everywhere from Jesus to my mentor, to my dad, to my brother, sister, whatever. And he just said, no, you are. So with strong coaching from my Noel, who you hear, and how appropriate, Noel.
I know.
We try to, just with our kids is, one, we want to make sure they know we love them and we love them dearly, but we want them to, you can't possibly cater to everyone. You just can't. Do what's best for you. And if the best you shows up, trust me, it's gonna be a home run. If you try to please everybody during the holidays, including dad or mom or whatever, it's not gonna be a joyous occasion. It just isn't.
No.
Do what's best for you. And I guarantee if you do that, you set your boundaries, you get clear as to what works for you. And then the best you shows up. Maybe it's not as many things, but with the best you showing up, it's the best experience for everyone. So you're the most important person in all of this. Do what works for you.
Yeah, because if you're stressed, nobody's there. Nobody, you know what I mean? You're not there for anybody anyway. If you're stressed and miserable, nobody really wants you there.
Yeah,
you're missing all of it.
Show up angry, resentful. Nobody's going to have a good time if that happens. So do what's best for you.
Before Natej, I know. Hold on. Before you go there, I'm going to go real quick. I'll send it back to him. I'm just going to do shout out for women real quick because we are different here over the holidays. And another thing that we do terribly is everything has to be perfect, right? We have to have all the decorations, everything. We have to cook everything. We have to do everything. And I am a Christmas I'm crazy. I'm a crazy person. I've got blow up people in my yard. I am usually an elegant person. At Christmas, I am not. I am the definition of tacky. My inner redneck comes out. But I do that for me. because I love it. It makes me happy, and getting ready for the season, it's something I do for me. But there are times too where I look at that, I'm like, not doing that this year. I'm busy. I'm going to let it go. So I think that's something women have to do, especially when it comes to cookies and stuff. I mean, everybody wants to have that special recipe out there. Kroger does a great job. Publix does a great job. Get a nice bakery, order the shit. Nobody cares. We got to give a damns are lacking. And I'm with Bruce. Sometimes it's just like, dude, I don't care. And you know what? 10 years from now, when people look back, they're going to be like, oh my God, did you bring store-bought cookies? No, nobody remembers you brought cookies at all. So I think that's something that, especially for women, and it goes for work and personal life. You want everything to show up, every present perfect, every present wrapped perfect. Nobody cares realistically. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But now, Natesh, your questions.
Actually, just before my question, I will say that for the past 36 years, I have cooked 33 of the Christmas lunches, Christmas dinners out of the 36 years.
Wow.
So times I haven't cooked is when we have all eaten out, which there have been a few times where we've just gone to a restaurant. But here's the question. So you two are doing a really good impression about being really healthy.
Yeah, we are. It's unusual.
Okay, take me
drinking.
Take me back 20 years ago. What was it like 20 years ago for you in terms of boundaries? Were you less good?
I did everything I told people not to do. I spent so much time making the perfect cookies, the perfect dinner, the perfect presents that there are times I could kick myself for not spending more time with my son when he was little. Like, why did I even waste an hour? Yeah. I especially because I thought it was for him.
Yeah.
And realistically, looking back, it's not for him. He doesn't care. He wants me to watch Rudolph with him. Now, my kid will tell you, actually, he's probably sick of my Christmas because I made him watch way too many Rudolphs together. He watches everything. But I think that is what I would have done differently. I put too much stress on myself. I spent, in fact, that's more what I did. Instead of missing the time with Jack, I just stayed up. Like, I'd put Jack to bed and then I'd stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning, wrapping presents, making that cookie, getting lists together, stupid stuff. Things I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was not worth it. Same with jobs. I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, what if my boss asked me for something? What if, and I would check my email. They don't care. They don't care. I had some of the nicest bosses in the world. They would not for a second talk to me over Christmas. They didn't care. It was me that cared. I had to let it go. So that's where I feel like I've grown a lot, is just putting priorities first. How about you, Bruce?
Oh, I would sneak into work or I would hide in my office. It's like I almost kept office hours. I was available in the evenings for movies or any gatherings, but it was like during the day I was still in my hard charge mode, which didn't, things could have been so much better. The other thing, and I just lost my train of thought, was, when I started to realize just how unhealthy that was, then I would tell everyone else the importance of shutting down. And I'm sorry about that. I hope you can't hear that, but anyway,
sounds like jingle bells. Jingle bells, jingle bells.
But then what I started to do was tell everyone else the importance of shutting down. However, there would be an email I would release. So I really wasn't modeling the behavior. And I can only imagine the angst I created for my team by, here he is telling us to shut down, and I got 2 emails in my inbox. Now, my thinking was, it's nothing you got to respond to today. This is something we're going to do after the first of the year. But just the fact they're thinking, this son of a is working, thinking about
hey, a good solution to that, which we didn't have years ago, schedule your email. If that comes to mind and you feel like you need to get it out, schedule your email. Schedule it to go out the Monday everybody's back. So you got it off your chest, off your mind, but schedule it.
That's exactly.
I like that modeling behavior thing. And I'm just now, for the record, I'm bringing store-bought cookies to my neighborhood party tonight. So I'm modeling behavior too.
We're going to tell them.
Well, just for the record, I'm not writing one damn Christmas card.
Ooh, good for you.
I haven't been doing it for about 3 years. It's heavily,
Just
it's
not.
heavily to not do that. It takes hours to write them, and then you got to
Yeah.
post.
Yeah.
You know what I do, and most people on this list will know that. So, I do some Christmas cards but not writing. I just have a picture. It's like a postcard, right? So we do that. But for people that are really important in my life, I do a New Year's letter, and I stole that from Carrie Care. Carrie, if you're listening, I freaking love that. I stole it. But because I have that shutdown time, and it's a good time to reflect as well. So writing that note of what happened this year. So I just kind of update everybody on what happened with the family this year, what we had going on and where we are. And it helps me also focus like, okay, that is what I did last year. Like actively get ready for 2026. But it's also, to me, sharing more than just, dear Natej, thank you for being wonderful this year. Merry Christmas. To me, that's like telling a story. It's communicating. And I have the time to do it, so it's less stressful. And nothing major. But also, I don't write it. I write it once, and then I just make a card out of it, and send it off. But that's just an example of a small thing you can do that's very stressful. Christmas cards are stressful because you got to get them out on time and got to get the Christmas stamp. You got to do that. Don't do it on
Heaven
time.
forbid you forget somebody. Then you feel really terrible.
I know.
But
Yeah.
Angie, I accept the Christmas card because I like what you wrote to me there. Happy that you're so lucky.
I know.
Can you send me a Christmas card?
You
with that?
have to tell me where you live. I don't have your address. Actually, I do need your address. So,
Yeah, it's the UK, as you know. But
not Ted,
give you
London. Oh, I lost an ear. I lost a reindeer ear. See, I let it go. It's not perfect anymore. I let it go.
All right, so let's move into our final segment, and this is going to be pretty quick. So it's about the accountability, and really all it is putting a stake in the sand or drawing a line in the snow. But it's pick one boundary that you're going to institute. Do it now. There's a couple of weeks yet before Christmas. Write it down, say it out loud, and enlist somebody with you that you're going to be around that can help you enforce that boundary.
I like
So
it.
an example for me is to avoid Noel. Sat me aside and said, listen.
I said avoid Noel. I was like, I am telling. I'm texting her right now.
we have to go back to the drawing board.
Thank God she's gone. But, there's already that conversation. Bruce, not everybody agrees with your views politically. So let's just not go there. So she's establishing that boundary ahead of time. And of course, she'll be right next to me, kicking me if that boundary is breached. But that's what it's about. Pick one, and you only have to pick one. Write it down, say it out loud, and list the help of someone. Let people know, helping you let people know what that boundary is. And again, boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about letting the best version of you show up.
One thing I'm doing with that is, because I mentioned earlier, one of my big struggles is so many networking Christmas parties. And which one do you show up to? Which one don't you? You mean you wouldn't work for the whole month of December if you went to everything.
Right.
So one thing I did was I told I'm not coming to a lot of them. So they come through and I just say not going. But with my not going response, I told everybody, I said, but if you'd like, on December 18th at 4:00, I will be at Roosevelt's and you can meet me there. So I just kind of said, this is what I can do. You don't have to come. It's not formal. There's no RSVP. I'm sorry I can't make your event, but this is what I can do. And I think that's another thing when we're setting boundaries is to let people know why we're doing it. And then also giving a solution, an alternative but this is what does work for me. So I like that, Bruce. I really like that. Writing it down, putting it out there.
No,
What's your boundary?
I like the idea that you brought up. That is awesome. And coincidentally, that's exactly what some of my neighbors are doing. Hey, we don't got anything planned, but if you're around, and I guarantee you those will be well attended because there's, it's just a very casual, it's about creating memories. It isn't some big event where you got to bring cookies and Lord knows what else you have to prepare. No, just show up.
Yeah. That helps too. I did that with my neighbors last year because I was like, oh man, I was super busy and didn't get out invitations because I am Mrs. Christmas. Like I freaking love it. And I always have this giant ordeal, kind of like an open house ordeal, but still I send invitations. Last year it was like December 16th. I was like, well, invitations aren't going to happen, but I'm having a party if I'm the only one there. It was amazing. I had like 20 people show up. So, and I let them know like 3 days before I was doing it. So, let it go. Sometimes works.
Natesh, any other comments?
So I think I have two. One is, I'm with Noel. I'm not going to let Bruce talk about politics. I just love that one so much. I think the whole plan's going to take it on board.
It's a good plan.
And the second is, actually, I've actually just got to be a bit less firm and nicer about my boundaries, because I can just get to the point and say what I want. And I think I've just got to be a bit nicer. But I am off on the 23rd and I'm not picking up anything until the 4th, unless you're a friend and but there's no, work or professional activity taking place between the 23rd of December and the 4th of January.
That's good. Just be nice to me, or you know what happens if you piss off redheads. We get nasty.
Yeah.
We know.
We know, Angie.
All right.
I've got security because
That's me. All right, Bruce, you want to take us home? I think we're going at 35 minutes. We might be boring people.
Yes.
Shut it down.
All right. From all of us, from serving up success with a splash, where was I going? Cheers to silent nights and strong boundaries. See you soon. Thanks.
Thanks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.